Hey there, you're listening to Please Remain Heated, the theme park podcast. For every episode, we pit two iconic theme park offerings against each other in a head-to-head to see which one comes out on top. I am your host, Carter Morgan, and I'm joined here by my other host, Davis Morgan, who also happens to be my brother. How you doing, Davis?
I'm doing all right. Let's talk about some theme park stuff.
Well, we're excited. We come at this from different angles. Davis, you are maybe introduce yourself to the audience a bit as our first episode. You are a content creator professionally.
Yeah. So I've got my own YouTube channel. I'm sure that some of my loyal viewers from the Davis Morgan channel are watching me. I've been doing that for like a little bit less than a year now. I started going full-time on Monday, not Monday. What the heck am I saying, dude? I started going full-time on January, the first month of the year, not the first day of the week.
Some call it the Monday of the year.
The Monday of the year. That'd be funny to leverage my clout as a full-time content creator if I just started doing it on Monday. I was like, well, I just started doing it this past Monday, so obviously we could start leveraging this now. But yeah, I usually talk about spooky, scary things for the most part, or like comically spooky, scary things. So it's a little bit different, but I do love me some Disneyland, some Disney World. I'm a theme park guy, but we have tons of memories going when we were growing up because we all went together.
Coming at it from my angle, I am not a professional content creator. I have another podcast, which none of you will listen to. It's a software engineering podcast. That's my trade. And that's actually was my first job out of college, was a software engineer for Disney. And so we used to live in Orlando for a while and went tons of times. But yeah, huge theme park guy. Davis and I come from a long line of theme park fans. Our dad in particular, obsessed. Mom and dad at their home, they have 6 different clocks set to the 6 different times of the 6 different Disney theme parks.
A long line is funny to say because it's really just... You can only go so many generations back before Disneyland ceases to exist.
Grandpa took Dad and his siblings.
Our great-great-great-grandpa had like a roller coaster in his backyard that he made that was not safe for purpose or something.
I think, kind of coming from different angles, I am the sole provider of all of Davis's nephews. We have we have a brother who has...
I have a nephew on Cassie's side.
Yeah. So I have 4 sons. Myself and then Davis and Cass, his beautiful wife, are living the dink life. And so we're excited about this podcast. We love theme parks, and so we thought, one thing we haven't seen a lot of kind of theme park content do is compare rides head to head, which is something that if you're a theme park fan, you're doing it all the time.
I know.
Me and our other brother Parker, we went to Epic Universe when it opened, and that's all we did was we said, okay, was this ride better than this ride? Was that ride better than this ride? And so we thought, no one's really doing this, so hey, why don't we do it?
They say comparison is the thief of joy, and so we're hoping to rob all of you of the joy that you might experience.
So for our inaugural episode, we're choosing 2 similar, but we think pretty different rides. We're going to compare Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters to Toy Story Mania or Midway Mania. I think just for simplicity's sake, we're going to say that we are talking about the Disneyland Astro Blasters versus the Disneyland Midway Mania.
Toy Story Mania. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and, seeing as we grew up going to the parks all the time, we thought it'd be fun. Maybe let's set the stage. Let's share some of our memories about both these rides. Maybe start with Toy Story Mania. I'd say for me, this is one of the very first rides I remember being like a new ride.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because we went to Disneyland every year.
For Astro Blasters too, ironically. I remember, but Toy Story Mania, I wonder, do we know what year this came out? Do you know what year they released this?
Off the top of my head, I want to say 2009.
That sounds about
2008.
Right.
May 31st, 2008.
It's but I bet we probably wrote it in 2009 because we typically went in the early months of the year. But I remember it being kind of a big deal because it was in California Adventure and it was in Paradise Pier and like nothing was there except for like Maliboomer if that was still around and like I guess Paradise Pier probably, I don't know if that still counts like the Orange Stinger and stuff, but it was mostly just California Screamin' was back there. But then Toy Story Mania, it was like, oh, this is an actual Disney, I guess Pixar themed ride in California Adventure, which was weird kind of at the time.
Yeah, this is part of kind of Disney's first attempt at rescuing California Adventure.
They got rid of the tractor playground, dude. That's all.
Yeah.
There's somebody out there who just wants the tractor playground experience back. There's somebody out there.
One day we will compare. We'll do a head-to-head Maliboomer versus first the empty patch of ground to replace it with. But I guess now Inside Out Emotional Whirlwind is there.
Yeah.
So yeah, one of the first new rides I remember doing. You and I, when you came to visit me in Florida, we had a laugh about this one because one of our interns when I was working at Disney said that, she was like, my professor designed this ride. And he said that the purpose of this ride was, like, the whole theme of the Toy Story movies is sacrifice. And so the ride is purposely designed so that if one person in your vehicle is doing well, the other one can't do as well. And we were like, one, terrible choice to design a game like that. Two, that's not the theme of the Toy Story movies.
Yeah. It's so funny to watch Toy Story 1 and be like, man, this is all about sacrifice. If this is about sacrifice, they would have let the toy that got strapped to the bottle rocket at the end just get killed by Sid so they could all escape. That would have been the theme. The end of that movie would have been Woody like walking up solemnly and being like, I'll do it. I'll get strapped to the rocket.
So yeah,
we wouldn't have gotten any sequels.
There are a lot of themes in the Toy Story movie. Sacrifice is not one of them.
Yeah, friendship seems to be a pretty big one.
Yeah.
Randy Newman sang a song about that one.
The Randy Newman sacrifice song.
But yeah, we got weird with it too, because I mean, as we'll probably start seeing in this podcast, is like there's just this weird manic energy that radiates around a conversation between really any of the Morgan siblings, because like you just have, I mean, since I've been born, what's that, 26 years of weirdness going on, but like I just thought of like this idea of like if they actually themed the ride itself around sacrifice. But then we got I think I was thinking, because I thought Stinky Pete said something about sacrifice, but I don't think he ever does. Like I pictured him in Toy Story 2 being like, we have to sacrifice ourselves, Woody. That's the only way we can live on forever, or whatever, because they like want to be part of the museum. So I was thinking, like, imagine that's just going through my head. But I was like, imagine a Toy Story Mania where every ride was themed after Stinky Pete, and there was just a big screen of him that came up in the front where he said sacrifice, and then he would just shoot Stinky Pete a whole bunch of times. Like, they should do that for a Halloween theming one of these times around.
You know, there are missed opportunities because it's a screen-based ride to Halloween.
I know, yeah, they could. But what's funny, I guess another memory about that isn't themed around sacrifice is that because it is a screen-based game, I do remember I don't know if it was the first game, but there's like the balloon dart game that used to be themed after Bo Peep.
It did, yeah.
It was Bo Peep for a minute, and then they switched it to Rex and Trixie. But Trixie, she sounds like a Trixie. Yeah, so I remember that like being there for a minute, and then when they switched it to the dinosaur one, which is probably more appropriate. Rex is a more iconic character. Although with Toy Story 4, you know, Bo Peep's back in there. So
there you go. Well, and then we've got, on the other half of the matchup, we've got Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters. Now, this ride's been around a little longer. Memories for this one, I don't have a ton of memories of this one growing up. I will say my kids love this ride. I think we did it like 4 or 5 times when we were at Disneyland last. And then I have a memory as a dad where this was when my oldest David, he had just turned 7, and 7 is the age you have to be to ride in a ride vehicle by yourself at Disney. Cool. And so he got to go by himself, and he loved it because he held both guns, and I don't think we could ever get him back in sharing a vehicle again.
This one's interesting too because of its difference in, I guess we're talking about the Disneyland version. The Disney World version has the guns like bolted to the does it have to the ride vehicle, which felt like a worse experience than the kind of the more free ones at Disneyland. I remember loving this one a lot too because I feel like at the time it came out, I guess there was a good amount of stuff to do in Tomorrowland. You had Space Mountain and you had Star Tours, and then Astro Blasters was the third like big ride I feel like that came out where I was like, oh, I really want to go on this a lot. And I remember hearing about like Dad must have found it out about the secret Zurg spot that you could hit to get more points if you hit in the middle of his chest in that one little area. And so I remember there being like kind of a cool borderline like eerie mystique about that of like you're going through because you're on the Omni Mover, you're like going around Zurg, and the entire time I'm just like sweating, like if I don't hit this thing it's gonna ruin my score so bad because it's worth so many points. It's just like and then you'd always see somebody with like an insane score, and I'm like, why couldn't it be me? I couldn't hit Zurg's chest chest bump. And Zurg cries out in pain whenever you hit him in the chest, but like you don't know if it was you that hit him. I guess you could check your score, but I was probably too dumb to do that, so it's just like you never knew. Yeah. But I remember really liking this ride a lot. I still like it.
Well, one thing we want to do between these two rides, since this is a comparison podcast, we want to compare and contrast these two rides, see what makes them the same, what makes them different. So I guess starting out, let's talk about what makes these rides similar, what they have in common. So obviously both are from the Toy Story IP, both are shooter attractions, both offer points, and both provide ranks. And the Buzz Lightyear ride, you get like Space Commander, or I don't remember all of them. And then the Toy Story ride, you get
the prize.
You get the prize, little
animal looking thing.
Like Davis mentioned, both feature secret targets. In the Buzz Lightyear ride, the target is obviously on Zurg, and then in Toy Story Mania,
there's a bunch of different secrets you can get with that, which is one of my favorite things about that ride. Personally, I love how every map has its own particular secret you can get to.
Yeah, absolutely. Both rides feature an animatronic of a character in the queue.
The line,
Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters features Buzz Lightyear, and Toy Story Mania features Mr. Potato Head, although the Mr. Potato Head animatronic is somewhat interactive.
Yeah.
Both rides are present in Disneyland, Disney World, and Tokyo Disneyland, and both rides replace existing attractions to a degree. Midway Mania replaced Boardwalk games, and Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters replaced first the Rocket Rod's Q Space, but that had previously replaced Circle Vision 360.
Gotcha.
Now, Toy Story Mania, here's where it differs from Astro Blasters. Biggest difference, screen-based. Davis, how do you feel about screen-based attractions?
So this is interesting because I typically do not love screen-based attractions. I'm much more of a fan of when physical things are used. It's one of my gripes about the Finding Nemo ride in Disney World and Epcot, which I actually really like, but I feel like there's a little bit too much screen stuff going on there. But for some reason, I love Toy Story Mania. I think it has to do with the 3D in it. I think it's the fact that since it's presenting itself as a game, you're kind of not expecting maybe much like pomp and circumstance beyond that. So it's kind of like I know what I'm getting into when I'm going on it, versus like if I'm on a ride that doesn't have an interactive element to it and I'm just seeing screens, I'm like, well, I could have just watched this. But since there is so much going on with the screen, I think that makes it better. I also think the way that you interact with the screen is something that couldn't be done otherwise. And I think they use it very well. It makes it feel very tactile in a way that is pretty unique.
That's how I tend to rate screen attractions, which is this the best possible version of this ride? Like, could you have not there's so many rides where you cheap out and do a screen, but like Star Tours, for example, I think that's a great screen-based ride because it's the best way you could do that.
Flight of Passage is another good screen-based ride.
Toy Story Mania is the first use of industrial Ethernet for a ride at Disney. It actually has more than 150 PCs that control the ride, all of them running on Windows XP, I found out.
Oh, nice.
This is a quote from Jody Gertzner, an Imagineer at Disneyland. She says, "The game doesn't care if the car parks in the same spot every time. It just needs to know where each car is actually parked, and the computer can compensate," which I thought was pretty neat.
Yeah.
It is the first Disney attraction ever created simultaneously for two parks. So that's
interesting.
I know, right? Because that's become much more common now, where they'll make an attraction, planning on putting it in both parks.
Yeah.
Star Wars Land, I mean, that's a whole land that is just copy and paste into two different parks. This is the first ever, so maybe the start of a bad trend, but hey.
Yeah.
like we mentioned, it is present only in Disneyland, Disney World, and Tokyo Disneyland. And the ride system is more of a kind of classic loading attraction, whereas Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters has the Omnimover. So let's talk about Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters. Again, this is the biggest difference between the two rides and why we thought it would be fun to debate them. Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters features physical props and targets. Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters offers control of the vehicle. Again, this is at I think every version but the Disney World version, which is called Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. You can, well, actually, no, Space Ranger Spin, you can spin the vehicle. Anyhow, but yeah, you can spin the vehicle. This is present in every single Disney theme park. I guess every single Disney resort. But here's the kicker. It was rethemed in Hong Kong in 2019 to Ant-Man and the Wasp Nano Battle. And in Tokyo, it is being replaced with a Wreck-It Ralph theme.
Interesting. That's cool.
There are minor gameplay differences across all the different versions, most notably at Magic Kingdom. And Magic Kingdom is actually getting a huge upgrade, which will be exciting to see. This is more of a fun fact than a compare and contrast. Andrew Stanton, director of Finding Nemo, voices Zurg, which I did not know about. Yeah,
cool.
He voices it in the movie and then in the ride. Although I will point out that
the new Toy Story movie. I was just reading about that today. Major Stanton.
And then, although I'll point out in the series Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, he is voiced by Wayne Knight, Newman from Seinfeld. This is one of the big differences between these two rides in gameplay, which is that if the ride stops for Toy Story Mania, you don't get any points. If the ride stops for Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, you're in heaven. Especially if it
seems like some people know that and take advantage of this fact.
This ride has an on-ride photo, whereas Toy Story Mania does not. And also, this is more of a fun fact. The Magic Kingdom version replaced Delta Dream Flight, which explains why the ride system sucks. Because it was not designed for it.
That makes sense. Yeah. The spinning is a pretty cool feature of that. And they do incorporate some spinning in Toy Story Mania. Like that, you kind of get jerked around in those carts, which I think is really fun. I like that aspect of it. We'll get into that more when we talk about the specifics.
Well, and why don't we talk about the strengths and weaknesses? So what we want to get a sense of here, the way we're going to evaluate these two rides and the way we're going to evaluate all rides in the future is we have about 11 different matchups we're going to compare against them to kind of on specific criteria. And it's just going to be a points-based system. And so since there are 11, the points can sum to 11. So the final score will be something like 6-5, 9-2, something like that. So we don't run through these ahead of time. We're just going to debate them as it comes. But just to kind of get a sense of how this debate might go, maybe we can talk about the strengths and weaknesses of both these rides, where they might fare well in the matchups versus where they might struggle. So Davis, talk to me about, let's talk about Toy Story Mania. What do you think of the strengths that this ride really offers?
So again, I'm biased because Toy Story Mania is like one of my favorite rides. I really love Toy Story Mania. I think just the overall ride experience, like the gaming experience of it, is really, really fun. I think it's more accessible than I find Astro Blasters, even though, your kids love it. I remember as a kid being frustrated that I couldn't see my little dot that was shooting, versus in Toy Story, if you're just shooting that thing like crazy, it's like you'll see your little your rings or your little arrows or something, you'll see them on the screen, so it feels more kind of chaotic in a way that. And I also, again, it's time for the game aspect of it, the secret target in Astro Blasters is worth so many points that it feels like if you don't hit it, and it comes up pretty early, if you don't hit it, you feel like you're like, well, I got nothing to live for now.
It's like the Quidditch philosophy of game design.
I know,
All
you gotta
that
stick your leg out while you're in front of Zurg, or else you're done for.
We've talked about we need to figure out exactly if I board, how much further behind me in line do you have to be so that you can cause trouble when you board? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
and
I know.
stop me right in
how was
front
the
of Zurg.
delay on the? I know. That's the thing. That's one thing I like about Astro Blasters. Is it's all about, if you're doing it that way, one person has to sacrifice their own ride experience for the sake of the other person. Because the theme of Toy Story was always sacrifice. So that's why they wanted to include that.
Now, I'll agree with you. I think the gameplay is probably better designed in Toy Story Mania. And I also say that I do love at Disney World or Disneyland, I think the Midway theming is really, really fun. I think they really needed a kind of killer ride to start Saving California Adventure. It would have been really easy to shoehorn something. And I think they just were really clever with the Midway theming. And I think it really, really adds. And I think it says a lot about the strength of that ride, that it ultimately became the anchor to transform all of Paradise Pier into Pixar Pier.
Yeah, for sure.
So, absolutely some staying
and a good
there.
Replacement for the Boardwalk games. Like they still kept that gaming aspect of it, but they just change it obviously.
I miss those Boardwalk games. I wanted to pay $100 to go to Disneyland and play skee ball.
Our parents would never let us do it. There's no way we're ever doing that.
The rides are free. Games cost extra. Well, what about weaknesses? Toy Story Mania. Where do you think it might struggle as we compare it against Astro Blasters?
I mean, it is a very screen-based experience, so it is like if you're not somebody who enjoys the gaming aspect of it, you would probably still very much you'd enjoy lots of parts of Astro Blasters. I don't think you would enjoy much of of Midway Mania. I know some people also have trouble with 3D, like it makes them feel nauseous, and that ride is throwing you around like crazy. So I can imagine that being a little bit rough. And then especially if we're talking about Disney, the Disneyland version, obviously the queue is pretty stale there as compared to the Disney World queue, which I actually really love.
That's a beautiful queue.
And I found out, I think maybe I thought I saw an image of the Tokyo Disney version has you like going into Woody's open maw. Like he's just like, his jaw is unhinged and he walk like it's like the Great Deku Tree in Ocarina of Time. It's crazy.
Did you hallucinate this?
I thought I saw it.
I'm looking this up right now.
Look up. Do you know that as gaping maw?
Oh my gosh, you do.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, right.
What the heck? That's crazy.
That's horrifying. But I'm like, that would be.
Oh my gosh, we'll put up a picture of that for our video watchers.
Put it up next to the Great Deku Tree from Ocarina of Time because it's a shocking. Nintendo could probably sue them for that or something.
This is terrifying.
I know. I talk about how Astro Blasters had a weirdly imposing aura because of needing to hit the Zerg spot, but like if I grew up in Tokyo, I would not want to ride Toy Story Mania because that would not be comfortable to me. You'd think you'd be entering like the old Epcot ride where you explored like the wonders of inside the human body. Like that's not. I guess he's a doll, so it'd just be like a bunch of stuffing in there.
Okay, well, what about Astro Blasters? Where do you think? What do you think it's got going for it? What do you think? Where might it struggle?
Again, I think the like the fact that so much of it is physical is really, really cool. I love the like lighting in there, like the very like it feels very arcadey in a way where it's like lots of blue light, black light, like it, and it has a very like it. I think it does a really good job of threading the needle between feeling like it's like a Buzz space experience, but also making it feel kind of toy-like, so that it does fit in with Toy Story.
I really like that about it. That it's it feels more like you've been dropped into like an authentic Buzz Lightyear adventure.
Yeah.
Whereas Toy Story Mania is just the characters playing a game with you.
Yeah, they do have in the Florida version in Toy Story Mania, you kind of walk through the box of the game that you're playing.
Yeah.
And then one of my favorite things, I don't know why I love this so much, but one of my favorite things in any Disney ride is at the end of Toy Story Mania in Disney World, you walk up the stairs and you're in Andy's room and you see the little toy box on the ground. And that I've always loved that. But yeah, definitely it feels a lot more like that when it comes to Astro Blasters. Like it feels like a toy that you've been dropped inside or a video game or something. It's really cool.
Yeah, I'll say that it does well as a dark ride, just on its own. Like that's and again, like these rides are meant to be played, and so you can't really evaluate it like that. But you could, if you took the gun away from me in Astro Blasters and just had me ride the ride, that would be more enjoyable than like if you took the gun away from me in Toy Story Mania.
Yeah.
And so I think that does say something about kind of the set design of the ride and the overall experience. As far as where it struggles, I think we've covered a lot of that. You can't see your laser.
Yeah, that's like the biggest. I know they couldn't put fog in there because you wouldn't be able to see anything. Right. But I'm like that. I feel like if they could find some way to make a little bit of fog in there so you could see them better.
I've heard they're trying to do that with the new Magic Kingdom update.
Oh, cool. Because that's and you have this little dot, but your dot's also like blinking. And I remember like trying to like push it over, like I would like point it away to like a wall just to try to find which one was mine, so that way I could try to shoot something. I remember that being kind of frustrating.
Yeah, I think as we're talking about these two rides, it brings up a really interesting question, which is if you're going to go the game route, do you just commit all the way to the game? That's what Toy Story Mania did.
Yeah.
Buzz Lightyear, I think, has added a lot of extra stuff that make it cool. Again, I think physical props always make any ride better, but you have sacrificed kind of those pure gameplay elements.
Sure.
So let's talk a bit. We want to do some fan predictions of the matchup. Yeah. Now, in every future episode, we will let you know at the end of the episode what two rides we're matching up next week. And we want you to put in the comments your predictions of what the final score would be. This is our first episode, so instead these predictions are sourced from the Morgan family group chat. We've got David Morgan, I guess David Morgan the first, our dad. Oh, yeah. He predicts 7-4 Toy Story Mania's favor. David, my son, predicts 9-2 in favor of Toy Story Mania. He said, like we said, he says there's more action, and he likes that there are more characters from the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
that is sorry. So that's interesting. Toy Story, Astro Blasters is like you've got Buzz Lightyear and Zurg in there, then a bunch of like. Is it loosely based off of that original Star Command TV show?
Not really. No,
it's just
like,
kind
I
of
wish
its
they had
own
like
thing.
Booster and I forget
Booster,
what her
come on, man.
Mira. I think Mira
the kids
was the
clamber
princess.
for Booster.
They're clamoring for what was his name? XR, I think was like his wisecracking robot sidekick. But it's like you have Zurg. I think you have the LGMs. Yeah, you definitely have the LGMs.
Yeah.
But you don't. You're right. It's not. There's not nearly as many characters. So my son David really liked that. My wife Lydia hates Astro Blasters. She predicts 9-2 Toy Story Mania. She says, I hate Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters. Every time we go on it, I guess we have to do that stupid ride again. She hated the laser. She says she hates the sound. She hates the ka-chunk, ka-chunk sound that the targets make.
Yeah, it is. I can see that.
And she does like Midway Mania because it has secret stuff you can unlock.
Yeah.
And she was not happy when I said that there is a secret target in Astro Blasters with Zurg.
It's just it's Zurd's third nipple you have to hit, dude.
right in the middle. So I think Astro Blasters has a steep climb. Like we say, we're going to try to be as objective as we can as we evaluate these. I think, like you said, Toy Story Mania is one of your favorite rides. I'll say I have a very soft spot for Astro Blasters because my kids love it. But we're going to go through our 11 rounds. We're going to compare these against each other, and we're going to see which one comes out on top. So let's go ahead and do this. So we got here round 1. Every great attraction makes a promise the moment it comes into view. That first glimpse shapes everything that follows. The winner of this round will be the ride with the best external facade or show building. So just to be fair, just to set some boundaries, we're doing the Disneyland versions here. So we're comparing Midway Mania to Astro Blasters. I'll say not super strong showings for either of these
From
here.
either of them. No, it's tricky because, so here's the thing. Toy Story's, Astro Blasters facade's doesn't really have a ton going for it. You have that, like, the sign, and then you have, like, some art on the outside of it, but it very much looks like an old converted Tomorrowland show building.
Right.
What I think Midway Mania, because Midway Mania also is not super appealing. I think things it might have in its favor is that you can see the ride vehicles from outside, which I think is always enticing. You can also see Mr. Potato Head at any point when you're outside. So I think it is more like he's supposed to be the carnival barker, right? So it's like you do get some of that. I mean, is that fair? Because that technically is part of the cube as well, but it is stuff that you see from outside. I
think the spirit behind this matchup is this idea, like, what's the first thing that's bringing you into this attraction? If you're completely new to Disneyland, you're walking around, you want to have an idea of which rides are cool, and I think Midway Mania, the show building is nothing really special. I will say that it's, and this is more just because it's in Pixar Pier as opposed to Tomorrowland, but Tomorrowland has never been a super aesthetically pleasing land.
Yeah, it's very gray. It seems very gray, at least when I think about it.
Everything's chrome in the future. And whereas Midway Mania, I think, even though it is kind of like a classic boardwalk looking Midway game, it does look nice. I think you've got to give it to Midway Mania based on what you were saying, Davis. I think seeing the ride vehicles, it gives you an idea. And that's something that's, we'll talk about this in a bit, but I think the Toy Story Mania ride vehicles are underrated. And I think Mr. Potato Head, I think there's something really cool about seeing an animatronic out in the open.
I know, and he's not working most of the time, but he's like semi-interactive, it seems. I don't know what the system they use behind him is. It's not like
I want to say it's fully automated. I remember reading that, but like at a very simple level.
Yeah, because I've never, Mr. Potato Head's never like, when he's berated people, he's never been like, hey, you, kid in the white t-shirt with a rainbow on it.
Yeah, right.
I think you lose on this ride. Like,
I think he has some things like man in yellow hat or like you in the hat. I don't know. I guess my vote is Midway Mania. I think you
I'm
got to
going
give
to
it to Midway
agree on
Mania.
that one. And I actually, before, when I was thinking going into this, I was thinking we were going to be comparing them from like all locations. And I was like, well, Facade and Disney World for Midway Mania is awesome. But then when you said we're going to compare them 1-to-1, my immediate thought was, oh, that means Astro Blasters will probably win for Facade. But now that I'm thinking about like what you see from the outside, I think I would give my vote to Midway Mania as well.
Okay, so that's 1 point for Midway Mania. So that's a score of 1-0.
Astro Blasters fans and emotional devastation right now. Click off the video now.
Hey, there's a lot of matchups left. All right, let's do it. Round 2. For many attractions, the real journey begins long before you board. The queue sets the mood, builds anticipation, and tells its own story. The winner of this round will be the ride with the best themed line/queue. Now, this is interesting because we just gave a lot of credit to Toy Story Mania for having, for kind of the queue drawing you in because it's an exposed queue. And I'd say from both these rides, there's not a ton going on in either of them. I think Toy Story, I think Astro Blasters has some stuff going for it. I think the Buzz Lightyear animatronic, 1, is working all of the time. 2, I think, is more fun. I think Buzz Lightyear is a cooler character to see in person than Mr. Potato Head.
Mr. Potato Head fans, click off the video now. This is not for you.
We're going to spend the rest of the time ripping on Mr. Potato Head and disrespecting the late Don Rickles. And there is a hidden Mickey in the queue, and a fun hidden Mickey because it's the planet on one of the ride or the like I'm on like it's a poster, but it's supposed to be like a computer screen or whatever. And it's a side profile of Mickey Mouse, I believe, which is cool. Neat. You don't see that very often. But what does Toy Story Mania have going for it?
So in my mind, I think in general, I think Astro Blasters to me kind of wins this pretty handily. There's a lot of stuff. All the things I said I liked about the facade of Toy Story is because you're essentially seeing the queue from the outside. And I think maybe if you had a big glass wall and the Astro Blasters facade, maybe I would like that more. Because I do think there's a lot of cool stuff on the inside. There is some fun, supersized things. There's some big giant bolts you see on the wall, which are kind of cool. And there's batteries. And I always love stuff like that. That's why I love the Toy Story Mania and Disney World so much. I love the supersized stuff. I think it's super cool. And then the Buzz, the animatronic is really cool. I think it sets the mood for the ride really, really well.
Yeah, you wouldn't really know what you're getting into on Midway Mania.
Yeah, but for Astro Blasters, you definitely feel like you're being kind of trained for this thing, and you're I remember as a kid kind of getting excited because Buzz is telling you what you need to do, and even the ride vehicles are on they're on the Omni Mover, and it feels very much like you're all shipping off to go do to this, go and fight Zurg. I really love the queue for Astro Blasters, and it's indoors and air conditioned, which is always great.
Yeah, the wording of this matchup is the queue sets the mood, builds anticipation, and tells its own story.
Oh, 100%.
I think by that criteria, this is Astro Blasters.
Yeah, 100%. So we're 1-1.
1-1. Didn't expect that, huh? All right. Let's move on. Round 3. The heart of any attraction lies in how it moves you, literally. The winner of this round will be the ride with the best ride vehicle and ride system.
This is really tricky because I love the Omni Mover. I'm a certified Omni Mover enjoyer. I'm a certified Omni Mover stan because it's so efficient, man. It just you get on.
I don't think we're giving efficiency points,
but I'm telling you, dude, it's that's like Haunted Mansion. The best part is that it's the first scary thing you do. Is you're if I miss my chance, if I don't step on this thing, what's gonna happen to me?
You shut the ride down, and then some lucky sucker in front of Zurg.
Somebody's begging me to panic because I step on the Omni Mover. You take a skitter step and you actually fall and they have to stop the ride. So some jerk can get 9,000. So
you're giving some credit to the thrill of the Omni Mover.
Thrill of the Omni Mover. I do think getting on and off the Omni Mover does extend the ride experience a little bit further because it is kind of a challenge in and of itself. But beyond that, you do have the cool. You can twist it around, you can spin your own ride vehicle around.
That's a huge point in its
which
favor.
Is pretty. It's a really cool way to incorporate the physical targets. Is to let you switch, like angle your
Yeah.
car in any given direction, even though there's typically almost always an optimal place to look. But that is, I think, a big part of the ride experience there. Versus,
Yeah.
and what's interesting is Toy Story Mania is like has a lot of the same principles, but it's all automated. So you no longer are you on an Omnimover, you're on this car, this cool like weird double. Like
The double-sided-
almost like it's like a GameCube controller kind of, or a fidget spinner, and it's
The
spinning
Toy
you
Story
around.
Mania ride vehicle is super underrated, and the
I
whole
think
ride
it's
system.
really cool.
You're right. It's whipping you around. It's adding like a lot of fun in between the
It
games.
feels like a tilt-a-whirl. If you've ever been on a
Yes,
tilt-a-whirl,
yes.
it feels very much like that.
Toy Story Mania is a ride I'm constantly shocked by. One of my favorite things about Disney versus Universal, and I love Universal too, is Universal only has like 3 rides in the park that have no height limit. Now it has about like 10 other rides that have like a 32 inches height limit or something like that. So there's plenty for smaller kids to do. But if you have a baby, you're out of luck. Disneyland and Disney parks in general, for some reason, are just really generous with what they'll allow kids to do. Like a baby, you can take a 1-day-old infant on Pirates of the Caribbean. You can go on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And weirdly enough, Toy Story Mania, which is so surprising to me because these things whip you around.
Yeah.
But
I
you
love
can control.
It is tricky because, again, the other thing I love about Toy Story, like there's so much, like it's a very unique ride system, and it does load. It loads, at least to me, it feels like it loads shockingly fast. I'm always kind of shocked by how quickly you move through the line. And then there's even just fun little touches. Like I love how each of the cannons is color coded to the color of what you're shooting on the ride, and that's always kind of fun. Where it's like, especially if you're a kid, you're like, oh, I want the green one or the yellow one, or like I think that's and the red, blue, green, yellow, which is like the traditional video game colors. I feel for first, second, third, fourth player. This was really tough for me because, again, the spinning component is cool and being able to control it is really fun. And I do love me an Omnimover.
Okay, so I'm not going to give as much credit for the fact that it's an Omnimover.
You just wait for the Spaceship Earth round. And I'll be giving all points to the Spaceship Earth Omnimover.
Okay. In my heart of hearts, look, the ability to control the ride matters a lot towards the gameplay, but I think as far as a ride vehicle / system goes, it's just not that unique. I think the Toy Story Mania ride vehicle is pretty unique. I think, like, you haven't been on the new Spider-Man ride, have you?
No, I've not.
So that's also another shooter, but I think is an example of how you do it the completely wrong way and how they could have messed up Toy Story Mania because it's so boring as it moves you from screen to screen. I think the fact that you get this fun game, but in between it you're getting whipped around and it's like like you could take that ride vehicle and put it in just a regular dark ride and have it spin just as much and it would still be really fun.
Yeah.
So,
and like one thing that's impressive about it is I'm sure I don't know, I've been on Toy Story Mania so many times. It's one of the ones I will like do several times in a trip. I don't know what the interior physical makeup of that building is because I am so disoriented. Anytime I'm like, where am I? I don't know if I've been around a corner, if I'm moving down a line. So for me, I would give this to Toy Story Mania.
I think I'm going to have to give it to Mania too, which I did not expect going into this. I thought the fact you could control it would be a big deal. Okay, so that makes the score 2 Toy Story Mania, 1 Astro Blasters. Still a lot of game left to play. Astro Blasters could come back, but Toy Story Mania with the lead. Okay, round 4. Stories are the backbone of unforgettable attractions. From setup to payoff, the strongest rides pull you into a world that feels alive. The winner of this round will be the ride that tells the best story. Now, this feels like Astro Blasters might win by default.
Feels pretty one-sided to me. Again, I like.
What's the story of Midway Mania? Is there? You're playing games?
You're playing games. It seems like, again, if we're going by some of the stuff, some of the lore that you see in the Disney World version, it seems like maybe a ride a toy that Andy has bought that he is, or that he is making. It almost like a lot of the stuff seems like he's colored on it. Like it seems like something he's gotten. I wonder if it's almost supposed to be similar to like a cereal box thing that he's making, because you get prizes at the end, which almost seem like they might go with that. but it's kind of loose theming.
It's not a story. I think it's
no
clever
story there.
theming,
Yeah, for sure.
but it's not a story.
I'm not moved to tears when I'm on it.
Astro Blasters isn't going to win an Oscar, right?
Yeah.
But it's a pretty straightforward theme park story. So we need your help story.
Yeah. And you chase Zurg away at the end. It's like Zurg's appearances get more. It starts out kind of the most intimidating. He's right in front of you, and then by the end, he's in his ship going away. So it's like you feel like you've chased him off.
And then you see him in the box, like his toy box at the end, with the claw holding him. Yeah. Again, I'm not going to say Astro Blasters has a fantastic story, but there is a story here.
Yeah.
I think you got to give it to Astro Blasters.
Bang, we're at 2-2.
2-2. Astro Blasters 2. Astro Blasters 2. Toy Story Mania.
If Astro Blasters gets any more points, your wife's gonna be pissed.
She's outside the door listening right now.
She turns the Wi-Fi off so we can't record anymore.
Okay. Round 5. Whether it's a sweeping score, environmental cues, or subtle auditory details, great attractions use sound to draw you deeper into their world. The winner of this round will be the ride with the best soundscape. Now, what would really help a ride in this matchup would be a killer song, a killer original soundtrack. Neither of these rides. Right.
No. I mean, the Toy Story Mania song has been stuck in my head, like literally since we started thinking about this. The one that goes, sacrifice. No, it's just the You Got a Friend in Me, but sped up version.
Yeah.
And it's very fun sounding. Like, I don't want to show my hand too early for this category, but I actually really like the sound design of Toy Story Mania. I think especially just the sound effects they choose for when you shoot your gun for any particular thing is done very, very well. Like every single one of them sounds different. They sound, and they make it sound like the baseball ones, I think is the one that a lot of people think about, where it feels very satisfying to smash those plates.
Oh, that's a great point.
Even the rings sound good. The darts sound like very impactful, very like, and then you have the plungers, which hit.
Yeah.
I think
the sound effects that's a great point. Okay, so let's think about Astro Blasters. I think, as my wife pointed out, it has a point against it here, which is that target sound is not fun to listen to. Chunk.
And
what is it? Now this has
director
a
of
version
Toy Story 5. I respect you for your voice performance as Zurg. You did a great job. I'm not going to hold that against you at all, but be realistic.
Whereas you have all the other characters in Toy Story Mania, which is fun. Oh, they find out this is an occasion where, if you're not familiar, Tom Hanks, most of the like Woody dialogue that's outside of a movie is done by his brother Jim. And so any like toy or video game stuff. This is a Jim Hanks original right here.
He does sound like just like him. It is crazy how
you know what I'll say. I like Jim Hanks a little better.
But they gotta bring Jim in for Toy Story 5. Tom Hanks was too busy making Captain Phillips 2, the sequel to a real story.
Wait, is he really making this?
No. It's a Captain Phillips solely team up movie where it's two great captains of a plane slash
it's like Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan like both the kids. That's Captain Phillips, John or Sully Sullenberger.
So one thing I do like about Toy Story Mania is that I love at the end of every game you have them all counting down 5, 4, 3, and it's like it's all of them together, and it's like it's very much like, and then even in the a lot of them have like moments where it's like, oh, it's like when you're at the last however many seconds, they'll have somebody who comes in and says like, oh, we're almost done with whatever, and it's like you kind of feel that like, oh, I gotta pick up the pace,
Yeah.
So I really like this. The soundscape of Toy Story Mania actually does stand out to me, because I think it could be really easy to make it really annoying, and I think there's a lot of information that has to be communicated through sound, and they do a very good job with that.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure Astro Blasters gets a fair representation here. It also has a version of You've Got a Friend in Me, like on one of the alien planets. It's like more of a techno one.
That's right.
And I want to say like, well, maybe it gets more points because there's more variety in soundtrack. Whereas Toy Story Mania is just kind of constantly in front of me, but I couldn't tell you what the other songs are.
Yeah, no, I couldn't. I got no idea.
I think I have Toy Story Mania.
Yeah, I'm on Toy Story Mania here too. I think that gets it for me.
Okay. So that puts us 3 Toy Story Mania, 2 Astro Blasters.
Looks like that is not the doghouse yet.
But it's been back and forth. It's
been back and forth.
This has been a shootout.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was round 5. On to round 6. Theme parks thrive on innovation, and some attractions stand out for the tools, systems, and effects that power their magic. The winner of this round will be the ride with the best technology. Now, there's a lot of subjectivity here, and there maybe is some overlap with the ride vehicle or system. Maybe we'll say, since we've already evaluated the ride vehicle or system, let's swap that out. Let's talk pure technology.
The Omni Mover. That's part of the ride mover technology. That's a good technology. My favorite technology.
Tech right there.
Okay.
We're going to start an Omni Mover appreciation podcast.
Yeah.
There'll be 2 episodes.
Well, we got a couple on there. We could have some guests, other Omni Mover enthusiasts, like 90-year-old men and women. They couldn't get on it in time.
So let's talk Astro Blasters. I think now animatronics. I don't think this is an evaluation, and we'll see as we continue this podcast how this matchup evolves. I don't think it's necessarily an evaluation of like, oh, was this ride really innovative when it was made? I think this is just kind of a nuts and bolts. Is the technology a little more advanced, right? Like you could go on like the first wooden roller coaster in the world and be like, oh, well, that was a huge advancement in theme park technology. But I would rather ride something like Big Thunder, which maybe wasn't as groundbreaking, but I think uses the technology in it to better effect. So I'm not going to say animatronics were, of course, these animatronics in Toy Story or in Astro Blasters don't really push the boundaries. But I'll say that any ride that has animatronics, I think that's cool.
That's cool.
But then as far as what it goes, the laser technology, you can find that at any laser tag place in America.
It ironically feels, the technology feels like it's something that would have come out of California Adventure because it does feel very stock. Like it's yeah.
So as far as like what's in this ride that I think helps it kind of stand out technologically, I'm gonna say the animatronics.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest point it has going for it. If we're not counting the Omni Mover, I would say that would be.
Now, Midway Mania, I think, is just a better showing technologically.
Yeah,
it's
because you have the 3D, which is good 3D. It doesn't bother my eyes necessarily. I don't feel like that. Again, the ride we already talked about not do ride vehicle. The way the gun works is really interesting. It's not a trigger. Instead, you're pulling this little pull string.
The pull string is really cool.
Yeah, and it's very, very responsive. It's like, like I said, in Astro Blasters, it feels like 25% of the time I'm just trying to find out where my dot is. I'm like trying to recalibrate against the side of a wall. Versus Toy Story, everything is color coded. You know what color your particular thing you're shooting is, and then even if you're not like trying to hit something, you probably will hit something. I also like, I don't know if there's a part where we talk about this specifically, but I do at least at some point want to talk about the hidden secrets in Toy Story Mania, because I really love.
We will talk about that in a sec.
Okay, gotcha. I think technology.
And we have that quote from the Imagineer, Jody Gerstner, I think was her name, where it's keeping track of where your car stops, and
it
so
doesn't need to be in the exact spot,
right? It's the first use of industrial Ethernet. I mean, how are you not going to give it to it if it's the first use of industrial Ethernet?
I spend most of my time in my day just thinking about industrial Ethernet. And
I really think the combination of that pull trigger with the cart tracking technology, and it's just it's the best I've ever seen it done in terms of like a 3D interactive attraction.
For sure.
I think you got to give it to Mania.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm giving it. That's another point for Toy Story Midway Mania. It's pulling ahead, folks. That is now 4-2 for Mania to Astro Blasters.
If at any time anything gets more than 5 points, we stop the podcast. We never record another episode.
We're going to hear how the rest goes. Okay, that brings us to round 7. From the earliest days of Disneyland, Walt's goal was simple: to build a place where the whole family could have fun together. Some rides still excel at creating those collective moments. The winner of this round will be the ride that creates the best family or group experience.
Interesting, because this is one where both you're kind of cordoned off into groups of 2, and I like that both of them you're with somebody else, which is very fun. You're kind of technically in a group of 4 when it comes to Toy Story Mania, because you'll see your score stacked up against them, and that's always fun to see, like, you know, what everybody else is getting. I guess, again, with some of those secrets and stuff, there's a lot of cooperation that needs to go into that if you're trying to hit it.
Yeah,
and I do like that. Like, I went on that ride twice. I was in Orlando, or not Universal Studios, Hollywood Studios, just for one day with my wife's family, and I met up with my friend Dallin because he works there, and we went on that one together. And that's, like, I love going on that one with anybody, because I can just say, like, oh, there's some secrets in this one. Like, I'll let you know what they are, and we can do them. And I think even if you're with somebody who has gotten the secret before, then you'll be able to get it. It's like, it's not super, you just need a little bit of help versus you can tell somebody all day long that you need to hit Zurg's chest plate, but it's so hard to hit that makes it more.
There is a real teamwork aspect of the person you're sitting next to. And even sometimes you'll strategize before you get to a game. Yeah. Like, okay, like the barn one at the beginning where you're shooting the eggs. I would say, like, okay, I go high, you go low. Right. Yeah. Yeah, and you do get the fun at the end. It compares your scores against the people in your vehicle. Astro Blasters, there's no cooperation in terms of gameplay unless you count hanging behind so you can stop the Omni Mover once you get to Zurg.
Exactly. I guess you could maybe consider spinning the car. Like, I remember I used to ride this ride a lot with McKay, my brother that's in between me and you, and like he would
I'm familiar.
Always be the one at charge of spinning. He'd almost always be the one spinning, and like I remember he'd be like, "Oh, we should spin over here." But even with Astro Blasters, I never really felt like there was one specific spot you needed to spin at.
No,
you can't see the thing anyway.
I ride this ride many times, never spinning it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I would ding Toy Story Mania here a little bit, because it is funny if you're like a group of 4 that literally you get seated back to back, like you can't interact with each other. Like Astro Blasters, there's a little bit of like, hey, you can wave to each other, but like, does that? I don't think that counts.
Can you really? Is it too dark in there?
Yeah, I think the fact that I was thinking initially going into this matchup, I'm like, oh, so what sets Mania apart here is the fact that you compare scores against each other at the end. But that teamwork mechanic, the sacrifice mechanic.
Sacrifice mechanic.
As
it's so funny. I don't mean to dig on the guy who literally created this ride, but I'm like,
this is a third-hand story, by the way.
Yeah. I was like, you have to work together to get the secrets, so it's not like you're sacrificing. Like, what? I guess
great game designer, very poor understanding of literary themes.
I guess like nobody can have the exact same score, but that's just like life. It's like nobody can truly be equal. That was the theme of Toy Story, is that no one can truly be equal to another.
You got to give it to Mania. I think you do. Yeah. Okay. This is looking dire. This is we are now at 5 Toy Story Mania, 2 Astro Blasters. Ooh. So this is Astro Blasters can't afford to lose any if it wants to pull out the win. Now, in a case where Davis and I are truly deadlocked, we could award half a point to each ride.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We've been pretty in sync so far. Okay, round 8. Great rides build anticipation, set up reveals, and deliver big payoffs. The ones bursting with standout scenes consistently leave guests talking long after the ride ends. The winner of this round will be the ride that has the most or best wow moments. Is there anything that sort of, these magical moments, the ones that make you go, wow, I didn't expect that, or that was neat. I'll say not a strong showing for either of these rides. I think this is kind of a what you see is what you get kind of ride.
Yeah. I remember seeing like Disney commercials for Disneyland probably back in the day when we were watching like Modern Family or something. It was on ABC, and I specifically remember they used to always have a shot of people in Astro Blasters going around the first time you see Zurg, where you can hit his special chest plate. That to me is a little bit of a wow moment of like, especially if you're a kid, you're like, oh, he's this big guy, he's right there, he's got this big old gun. Versus like Mania doesn't really have anything that I would say is a wow moment.
So let's just kind of compare maybe side by side, just kind of stack up these moments. So I'll say that the as far as like wow moments in Astro Blasters, I would say the first time you see Zurg, and definitely the final scene is really cool. I appreciate any sort of dark ride. It's big.
Yeah.
You haven't been on it yet. A lot of people haven't yet, but we're gonna get to Epic Universe one day. The Monsters Unchained ride has a scene like that where it's just big and there's a lot going on, and I think that's so cool whenever a ride does that. So I think those two I would count as sort of like, those leave an impression. I don't know if you're going to be talking about that a lot, but I think those leave an impression and are cool. This is where Mania struggles a bit.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that like, I mean, all the scenes are really cool, but I don't know if they're wow moments for me for anything. I mean, there is like one. It's not. I wouldn't say it's just such a lame wow moment, but I've always liked at the last game when it's the Woody and Jesse game, and then you start like side scrolling over to the mine. That's kind of a fun moment because you haven't experienced that yet. It's like you're moving in a different direction, which is kind of cool. But that's like we're stressing the definition of a wow moment if we count side scrolling screen.
That's a moment.
It's like, oh,
but that good news, round 9 is which ride has the most moments. I think you got to give it to Astro Blasters here.
Yeah.
Again, not super impressive for either of these, but Astro Blasters. Astro Blasters is fighting for its life here.
5-3 now.
5-3. Okay. Still got a chance. Still got a chance.
Yeah. Fighting chance.
Okay. Round 9. Parks thrive on loyal fans, and repeat visitors know the value of a ride that stays exciting no matter how many times you board. The best attractions keep revealing new touches or delivering thrills that never wear thin. The winner of this round will be the ride that offers the most re-rideability. Oh, and this, I think, might be the nail in the coffin.
The tipping
for
point.
Astro Blasters.
I love Toy Story Mania. I think even if you're not like, I remember as a kid, this is because I just play a lot of video games, but like I remember getting frustrated sometimes on Astro Blasters if I didn't hit the target, like the secret one, because like you'd see your brother next to you has like 300,000 more points than you, and you're like, well, maybe I should just leave this trip right now.
Many Morgan trips ended in fury after not hitting the target.
3 hours into our first day, and we all to go home. No, but Mania, and like maybe this is so like it's so I'm so biased because I'm actually pretty good at Toy Story Mania. Like it's one of the rides that I like of all these like game rides. I'm like, no, I'm actually pretty good at this one. Like I can impress whoever I'm with. I'm like, me and Cassie rode that when we were dating. I was like, hey, maybe if you're looking for a guy who can get a high score on Toy Story Mania, maybe I might be the right person for you to date and eventually marry. But I feel like even if you're not super invested in like getting a high score, I think just like the sheer satisfying aspect of like throwing a ring over an alien or breaking a plate with a baseball, like it's just fun to do.
There's a lot more variety in that, and just the fact that there are secrets in it.
Yeah, in every single frame,
every single one, and that some of them are hard to execute on.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it feels like the one that always goes to my head first is the alien one where you have to hit all the rockets on or is it aliens on the
aliens
rocket?
Are like on the rocket, and it's the ring toss one, and if you get all the aliens down, the rocket blasts off and a robot appears, and then he just opens his mouth, much like Woody at the Tokyo.
That's what they must have gotten that's what they based it from. What if in the Tokyo version you've got it all off the rockets, and instead of it being a robot, it was just Woody?
And you throw the rings in his mouth. Yeah, but I'll try to get that one several times, and I get it maybe every other ride.
Yeah, you really need help with that one. Whenever I'm on that with anybody, even if they're like not interested in doing the secrets, I'm like, you have to help me get these because that is where you clean up the most. Like,
Yeah.
because it's funny because the ring toss one, whenever I'm on it, and that's why it's always a satisfying moment, is because if you don't know the secret, I think people often cite the ring toss as like being one of the lower scoring ones.
Right.
But if you do get the secret, you get like half of your points through it because you can get so much with that robot.
In the dinosaur one, the dart throwing one, there's this crazy sequence of events where there are like these balloons on the volcano that are like in the shape of like streams of lava, and you have to get all of those first, and then these comets appear in the corners.
Yeah.
And then you have to shoot those.
And like multiple times,
so
and they keep...
First you do the lava, and then the volcano erupts.
Yeah.
And you get those.
Like
then the
500
comets.
balloons.
Right.
Yeah.
Then the comets appear. And then if you get those down, then the asteroids come. And then those have tons of...
There's worth a bunch of points. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just... You can't give it to Astro Blasters here. I don't know. Like, there's some amount of, like... I guess I could ride this ride again, and because it's a shooter, like it's kind of fun to see how your score goes. But just the fact that so much of it is determined by if you get the Zerg secret target. Yeah. It's Midway Mania. This is a clear Midway Mania.
It clinches it, dude. 6-3.
That's 6-3. So they're just competing for style points at this point.
I know. Let's see if Astro Blasters can stop embarrassing itself. No,
get it together, man.
If any Imagineers are watching this, you need to figure your stuff out right now. You need to make that Zerg target bigger. You need to do something.
Hey, they're retheming Magic Kingdom. Like, what more do you want?
I know, please.
Okay. Round 10. Some attractions are fun bonuses, but others feel essential. They're the rides you can't bear to skip, the ones that leave your visit feeling unfinished if you pass them by. The winner of this round will be the ride that is the least skippable. What makes your trip feel unfinished if you don't get this one in?
For me personally, that is Midway Mania. I love Midway Mania, and especially if you're going to be in California Adventure anyway. California Adventure is better now than it used to be. Like beforehand, it was like if you weren't going on Midway Mania, what were you doing? Like the aerial ride 35 times, then maybe get on a...
Do you remember when we rope dropped the aerial ride?
Oh yeah,
because Dad wanted to get Fast Pass for like California Screamin', and so we were just kind of like, I don't remember exactly why, but for some reason it made sense just like kill a bit of time.
Yeah, it was like
and
we didn't need to do
like,
much.
Let's do aerial. We rope dropped it. The cast members looked at us like we were nuts.
What are you doing? Aerial. We should talk about the aerial ride someday because there's the ride vehicle system on that is one that I really enjoy.
Because it's an on-mover.
I didn't say that.
Yeah. I'm with you, especially if you're evaluating this like in a park capacity. Like this is a must do if you're in California.
Because if you're in Disneyland, like I feel like maybe I'm just a freaking freak of nature here. But when it comes to maybe I just have a sick, twisted, demented mind. But when I'm in Tomorrowland, I like mostly just want to go on Space Mountain and like maybe hit up Star Tours, but everything else I'm just kind of like, oh, like Astro Blasters is cool, but things are so close together there. You're close to Matterhorn, you're close to Fantasyland. It's like it doesn't feel super essential to me.
I'm just imagining walking out of the park. We say, okay, it's time to go home. Is anyone gonna stop and be like, but we didn't get on Astro Blasters? Right, like my kids. Maybe
not if you raised them right. No.
I'm trying to think if there's any way you can give this to Astro Blasters.
we're looking for any excuse, man.
I'm also trying to think. We're going to evaluate these matchups as the podcast goes on to determine if there's any overlap. No, I think in terms of like what's the most essential to its park, like. Honestly, if you just shut down Astro Blasters today, like Disneyland will keep on humming. If you shut down Toy Story Mania, I mean that is a pillar of California Adventure.
Yeah, no, that is a pillar. It feels like it came about during a turning point in the history of California Adventure. So.
That is the very first set of reinforcements for California Adventure. It's Midway Mania. Bugs Land. Oh. I have a soft spot for Bugs Land.
I do love Bugs, and there weren't any good rides in it, but
you haven't been to Avengers Campus yet, but
no.
the execution there is lacking a little.
I imagine.
I like any sort of land where you're tiny. I think that's a fun.
That's what I know. Thing. I love it. That's why I love Toy Story Land so much.
I know, right? I think that's actually cool. That
it's
Toy
just
Story
like
Land
it's a cheat code to me, man. Like it's like show me a big barrel of monkeys and I'm yours.
They should have made Star Wars Land like that. They should have said you're really small, alien.
Yeah, just for no reason in particular.
There's a 60-foot animatronic of Ray.
Yeah.
You got to give it to Midway Mania.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we're at.
Okay. So this made
7-2, 7-3.
7-3. Okay.
Let's tiebreaker.
Astro Blasters might get it. This is the final round. While our other rounds evaluate clear criteria, certain rides earn a place in the broader theme park canon. Touchstones known and loved across generations and across parks. The winner of this round will be the ride that is the most iconic. This is by nature and on purpose a fuzzy matchup. We're trying to capture here kind of that je ne sais quoi, the uncapturable. And like I said, we'll evaluate these matchups as we continue this podcast because there might be a little too much overlap here with round 10. But we think about what makes a ride iconic. So I'll give this an Astro Blasters. This is a point for Astro Blasters and a point against Astro Blasters, okay? Mm-hmm. This ride is in every Disney theme park.
Yeah.
Where Toy Story Mania is not. Here's the point against it, though. It has been rethemed twice.
Yeah, that's a good point.
With Ant-Man and the Wasp and
Remy's...
Wreck-It Ralph.
No, never mind.
Believe it or not,
Noodle Shop Blast.
They didn't make a Ratatouille themed shooter.
What if? Okay, but hear me out though. You're on, so it's the same ride vehicle except for it's styled like Linguini's head, and you're on top of it, and you have these little levers that you're.
Then you can move.
And you're shooting. Around. I don't know. You're like, you're inside his mind, and you're giving him. I guess Remy does not go inside Linguini's mind, but I was saying you're making mental connections for him to find the best ingredients to put on. Disney, why have you not hired me yet? I could make a ride out of anything.
Ratatouille was a pretty simple like puppeteer concept. It wasn't like he wasn't like a Yerk from Animorphs.
It was like Inception. He was inside of his mind, like getting him to think of the best ingredients. They should do that for Ratatouille too. You should find technology that lets him go inside Linguini's head.
Okay, I might watch Ratatouille too if that's what it was. Okay, so putting that aside, it's been rethemed twice. It made it to all of the theme parks. But Toy Story Mania is only in 3 of them. Yeah. You could retheme it, but a
pretty good Ratatouille retheming for it.
You know, Remy.
Pull string? Little noodle?
Yeah. I just think... But I think the fact that it hasn't been rethemed, and I think the fact that... I think there is a little bit here, too, where, yes, it made it to 6 different parks, Astro Blasters, but it got rethemed twice, and there are differences between them. They've copy and pasted Toy Story Mania.
It's been, pretty, except for the queue and the horrifying Deku Tree facade. It's been pretty similar. And I do think, like, I guess this kind of is just more like how it contributes to its land, but it is like, when you're back in Paradise Pier, it's like kind of impossible to miss. Or I guess Pixar Pier, it's impossible to miss. Like, it's just this, it feels like, it almost, to me, when I think of that whole area back there, that to me feels like the biggest ride for that area, which is weird.
Which is impressive because Incredicoaster. But that's not, I do think there's a case to be made that it is the anchor attraction of that land, which is crazy considering Incredicoaster is there.
Yeah. So, to me, this one's going to Toy Story Mania.
Again, I'm just trying. I feel like a defense attorney here. Like I gotta do anything to give Astro Blasters.
If Astro Blasters is not worse than Toy Story Mania beyond a reasonable doubt, then we must cancel the podcast. We must scrap the episode.
It's a mistrial. No, in terms of which one's the most iconic, it's got to be Midway Mania. I think. I think just. Yeah, for all the reasons we've talked about so far, that it anchors a land. It's identical in 3 different parks, at least in terms of like ride vehicle and gameplay. Even the fact, and here's a point in favor as to why it's iconic. You can reskin this ride pretty easily in terms of at least replacing new games. Like if one of these games stunk, you could just replace it.
Yeah, they already did it.
But they've only done it once. With Bo Peep. And then this ride has been around for over 15 years.
Yeah.
And it's mostly the same starting lineup of games. Like, that's really, really impressive for those games. Like, just to compare it to, like, Millennium Falcon, they're adding a new mission with Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah.
And I think that's because that ride's starting to show its age just a little bit. And people get bored of the mission. That's crazy that this ride has gone for 15 years with mostly the same set of games.
It'll never change. It'll never change. Ever since 2009, always the same. Couldn't get rid of the egg game in the Toy Story ride. Reference for all you Better Call Saul enjoyers.
This podcast has everything. Yeah, it's got to be Midway Mania.
Yeah, I think so. I think I cannot justify. It is too painful. I cannot bear it. Quote from The Village by M. Night Shyamalan. I cannot justify looking in the eye of another ride, and that's too far of a reference for me to get.
This was a bit of a smackdown. This is
I know, honestly, a little bit embarrassing.
Toy Story Mania, 3 Astro Blasters. I don't think anyone. Yeah, could have been worse.
Going into this, I was like, I'm pretty sure Toy Story Mania is going to win this. I would have thought Astro Blasters would have gotten less points. I'm was thinking like 9-2 pretty handily. It did get that. What was Buzz Lightyear's 3 points that we gave it again?
We gave it round 2, round 4, and round 8. So let me look at those. So round 2 is the ride with the best themed line /queue.
Yeah, for sure.
Round 4 is the better story. Yeah. And round 8 is the most wow moments.
Yeah.
So
that was a pretty super big wow moments, but it wasn't that Modern Family ABC commercial, so we gotta give it to him.
That's more that Toy Story lost that round more than Astro Blasters won it. Well, that's the winner. The winner is Toy Story Mania 8-3. A little embarrassing for Astro Blasters. Who knows? Maybe we'll match up Astro Blasters against something a little more at speed one day. Like
when it's
Goofy Sky School.
Goofy Sky School, Ariel, another Omni movie ride. They should put guns in Ariel, dude. You have to shoot Flounder. To score shells.
I always hated that fish.
You play as Ursula. You have to shoot Flounder to convince him to sell out Ariel to get her voice or something.
I think we shouldn't make this podcast public. We should sell this exclusively to Disney Imagineering.
I know. I'm sure they're begging for. I'm sure they're begging for. They're just scraping the bottom. If we know anything about Imagineers, given that our uncle is an Imagineer, they're scraping the bottom of the barrel. No, I'm just kidding. He's good at his job. He's good at his job, folks. He's good at his job.
Well, that's his. From what I've learned about what he does in Imagineering, that's where some of our matchups come from, because we had asked him, I finally asked him, like, what exactly do you do for Imagineering? And he says every ride has 3 lead Imagineers dedicated to 3 of the different sections, and that is the show building, the show itself, the effects, and the ride system. He is the lead of the ride system on one of the new rides they're building in Paris. And so that's why our matchups account for all 3 of those things.
Yeah.
So that's it for Toy Story Mania. We will, in future episodes, if you comment and if you get the score exactly right, we'll shout you out. We might not be able to shout out all of you, but we'll say you're the ball knowers.
I thought you were gonna offer like some sort of reward, like some monetary prize.
We'll offer you $100.
Please don't watch this, dude. Please don't watch this. We just try to gaslight people. They're like, everyone's like guesses 8-3 or whatever, and they get it right, and we're like, no. We said 9-4. There were 2 criteria you didn't even know about.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. This has been the very first episode of Please Remain Heated. Stick around for our next episode, which is going to be Expedition Everest versus Big Thunder Mountain. Woo-hoo. So 2 iconic mountain coasters.
I know. Put your predictions in for those.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Maybe we can post that. We'll post the criteria either in the description of the video or the comments, wherever it goes. Just all 11 of them, so people can have a handy reference.
Yep. All right. And we can't promise that we'll do read your full analysis, but we'll pick pick what our thoughts are. We don't want to poison the well too much. Well, stay tuned, folks. You can always find us. We don't have any of our socials set up yet. I'm on Twitter at Carter Morgan. Davis, are you active on anything? I mean, obviously you have your YouTube channel, Davis Morgan.
Yeah, I don't have any other public-facing social medias. The only ones I'm on would be my YouTube channel, which is Davis Morgan. And if any of you guys are on Goodreads and you want to look me up on Goodreads, I will add you as a friend. I post all my book reviews on there. So.
There we go. Okay.
Goodreads too.
First time I've ever heard someone plug their Goodreads on a podcast.
I have so many Goodreads friends now. I get congratulations all the time.
Well, stay tuned, folks. We'll keep doing this as long as it's fun. But obviously, as you tune in and our listener base grows, that's all the more incentive for us to provide you the best possible podcast available. We're excited. See you next time for Big Thunder Mountain versus Expedition Everest.
Yeah. See ya.